Let's dive into Spokane County. So we have this fire pegged somewhere between Cheney-Spokane Road and Marshall Road, so it's not too far away from Highway 195, probably just a mile or two off of the highway itself. The winds are out of the southwest, so that would blow that smoke towards downtown Spokane if it starts burning any more aggressively. You can see obviously the localized smoke in the trees there, but it hasn't necessarily picked up all the way into Spokane just yet. In the last couple minutes, the thunderstorms have really started to explode over northern Washington. In fact, we just got a flash flood warning for the Swalwilla Fire burn scar in southern Ferry County. That particular storm right here has just been sitting there for the last 30 to 60 minutes. Because of the heavy rain, specifically in that area, flash flooding and even debris flows and mudslides would be likely over the high terrain area. Now, Airway Heights, and if you're heading along Highway 2 westward, that's going to be a very snowy highway out towards Reardon, Davenport, and Wilbur. So make sure you're taking it cautiously on any of the major roadways. It's not a classic supercell thunderstorm. Instead, the tornadoes occurred on the leading edge of these thunderstorms that moved through the area at that time, all within a 30-minute span. This is a video from a Vista Stadium where the Spokane Indians play. That game canceled that day, and you can start to see the condensation funnel right about here. What makes this a bomb cyclone? The definition of it is the minimum pressure, the low pressure, drops by 24 millibars in less than 24 hours. This storm dropped 66 millibars, almost 3 times above what the definition of a bomb cyclone is. So that rapid intensification gives it a quite venomous sting in terms of the wind speeds. This is the Bear Gulch fire over the Olympic National Forest, and the smoke trail has gone straight eastward, and now it is over the inland northwest. It's the outflow winds that basically took what was already a 50-mile-per-hour wind and then just upped it up another notch or two. So that's why we got the severe winds yesterday, because we had thunderstorms to help to amplify that by just another factor. Obviously, the winds were going to pick up the dust anyways, but at that severity, it created a more severe style of dust storm. Looks like this could be considered a haboob, which is something that you'd see in Arizona or West Texas, desert Southwest. It looks to be of that severity, and the pictures that we're seeing out of the Palouse certainly resemble that kind of weather pattern. It's just that wall of dust that is extending all the way out towards the horizon. Who's the best karaoke singer? Oh, we got 3 votes for Doris here. Who has the best batting average on the team between you 3? Uh-oh. There's a little bit of a rivalry here. Otto says himself. Doris says Otto. I'll go for this one again. Now I'm just picking all the upsets.
The suspense.
Oh! Montana! Come on. Vanderbilt.
You got to be money. Okay, you got it. Pressure's on. Which one are you picking?
So if you don't like any of those, what do you like?
I mean, the carousel right here, that's more my speed. Woo, we made it to the top of the Doomsday Hill, baby. We use what's called the KP index. And at an 8 or a 9, that's about as high as it goes. So that is forecasted at around 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. or about midnight or so would be the best hour or two, but really all night long will give you any kind of opportunity to see it in the first place. And as we have been looking at the sun, again, through special equipment, there's this huge sunspot that has just ejected a lot of its solar matter. We call those coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. And there were actually a series of 5 of them in a row, and it's that sequence that has gotten this forecast as strong as it has been since the year 2005. The total lunar eclipse looks to be about a 50-50 shot for the skies to be cleared by about midnight tonight. Zooming in on Spokane County specifically, you can really see the snow and the rain basically puzzle pieced it together. Now, this is really revealing that I do think high elevations of Spokane County, we're talking Airway Heights, Medical Lakes, the West Plains, and even Deer Park and northward, you're on the snow side of things. These first 4 days, Monday through today, have all been about the cold weather, but really tomorrow is going to be about the snowfall, because that line could certainly sway or shift. And if it does by even 10, 20, 30 miles, you're talking about a difference of 3 or 4 inches of snow. So it's the gradient that makes this a very tricky forecast. Between Inchelium, Republic, and Nespelem, here's a couple thunderstorm cells. Few cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in that region. Looks like it is just over the mountains at the moment, but if this does head eastward, would be heading towards the Inchelium area. It starts this weekend, and now we have extreme heat warnings and heat advisories respectively issued across the inland northwest. We knew this was coming, and it is for 5 days starting Saturday and lasting through Wednesday. But I'm going to pick out the hottest 2 days to place under a weather impact alert day, and that's going to be Monday and Tuesday. So the first 2 days of next work week will be the hottest days. And it has been crazy hot to start out September here. In fact, it's been the hottest it's been all summer long, and it took until meteorological fall to get there. 3 straight record highs, but now we'll see the heat just back off a little bit, but still very hazy as it appears right now over Coeur d'Alene. So let's start with the heat again this morning, with heat advisories going for 1 more day. Temperatures just backing off a little, but still between about 92 and 100 degrees this afternoon after hitting 3 straight record highs or tying record highs. And that's where we were yesterday at 98, officially tying the record from 1988. But funny enough, these 3 days are now the 3 hottest September days on record in Spokane history, and our records go back to 1881. That is how crazy hot it's been to start this month. Now today, still at about 95 or so we keep our weather impact alert day today. Again, stay hydrated, stay cool out there. But the hydration a little bit more important today also because of the air quality concerns, as you'll see, because that is now the secondary impact that we are tracking very closely. But there are those high temperatures today, not quite as extremely hot as it was to start the month. 94 degrees will be shy of the record highs this time around, but even that is still decently hot for the region. Now we move over to air quality. The air quality alerts did actually get expanded as of yesterday to now cover the entirety of eastern and central Washington. I also plot some of the major and active fires that are burning in the region, about a half dozen of them or so in northeastern Washington, now the primary culprit when it comes to the air quality concerns across the region. They started to burn even more aggressively yesterday due to the hot and unstable conditions. That is still the case for today, hence the red flag warnings in this region. While not necessarily very windy, it is just so hot and unstable that those towers of the smoke clouds find that instability in the atmosphere and they just start to rip. And that's what we saw from last night. These are the smoke plumes from all of these fires, just pointing out a handful of them. But notice how they are gently pouring that smoke to the southeast, directly over Spokane County. So while the worst of it is definitely Stevens and Pend Oreille County in terms of air quality, we're definitely seeing some air quality drops here as well. Current AQI listed as 127, which is unhealthy for sensitive groups. Even I noticed it a bit in my throat yesterday and still this morning. So again, drink more water and just keep those windows closed. If you have an air purifier, that very much recommended for today and tomorrow. Because guess what? The smoke is not going anywhere. In fact, it might even get worse. There's a little bit of these purple shades on the modeling, especially for Stevens County, which is currently reporting unhealthy air quality. So we're monitoring that very closely for the next day or so. But the worst of the heat appears to be behind us. But high temperatures will still be in the low 90s through this Saturday.